I lose my virginity in the ninth grade to a senior football player in high school. That's on a Friday. My mom wasn't at home. She was out of town. And by Monday morning, the whole school knows. And my older sister is telling on me like that I did that. And so, of course, my parents, they're like, oh my God, what are you doing? And I deny it. But I was just, I'm headed down the path at this point, but nobody recognizes it because I was still presenting the representative of, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. We're all fine. That sort of mentality.
Right.
So I moved these schools. I become friends with all the guys. Everything's okay, but I just miss Chattooga High School. I miss that because my whole life was there. My friends, everything. So I decided I'm going to go back to Chattooga. I didn't make it long at Armuchee initially, a couple weeks. So I go back to Chattooga High School. I lasted a couple days and I was like, I can't. It's not the same. And when I go past him, he pulls out behind me. And I knew that my license were suspended because I had a speeding ticket that I forgot to pay. And so they had suspended my license. All I had to do was pay the speed ticket. So he pulls out behind me. And so I'm like, shit, my license. So I pull into my friend's mother's hair shop. It's at night. I pull in. The police officer goes down the road. I turn my car off. I turn my lights off. 5 minutes later, he comes back in. He pulls in behind me and he hits his lights. So he comes up to my window and he's like, license and registration, please. And I was like, why? And so he asked me again. We went back and forth and did that for a second because I knew that I had been sitting there long enough with my car off and my lights off that he had no probable cause to ask me. He knew that my license were suspended because the whole Rome City Police Department thing, they had been watching.
Right.
Lee knew, like there was all this stuff going on, right? So he says, I know that your license are suspended. Step out of the car. You're under arrest for suspended license. I know I don't have any drugs on me, so I am totally unbothered and unfazed. It's just an inconvenience at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I know I got enough cash in my pocket that when I get to the jail, I'm going to cash bond out for driving on suspended license. So he starts searching my car. And he's convinced he's going to find something. They're taking apart everything, like the speaker system, the amp. Like I had all these other like stereos in the back that weren't hooked up to anything like CD players. He's literally like sure he's going to find something. So earlier that day, there had been this big run-in that happened on a fraud case with this guy for like embezzlement in Rome, and he owned a sex shop. So the girl that was friends with him had called me and was like, girl, I got all these sex toys over here from the sex shop. Come get them. I'm just giving everything away. So I go over there and she sends me with these grocery bags full dildos, body butter, paint, body paint, all this stuff. So I have all that in the back of my car too. So he's having a field day searching through all my shit. So he picks that bag up and the bottom falls out. And dildos go everywhere on the ground. His face turns red. He's scrambling, like trying to pick them up. And I'm in the back of the cop car. Yeah, that's what you get. I'm talking all the shit. Because I know I don't have anything. So they don't find anything. We get to the jail and they ask him, what are you booking her for? And he says, possession of meth, possession with intent to distribute, pills not in original container, theft by services singular ghost phone, concealed tag, alter tag, no proof of insurance, and driving on a suspended license. And I said, what? And he said, and make sure you pull her prior because I don't want her to bat her pretty little blue eyes and get out of this one. I need money. So I do what I know I could go do and make money. I go to a strip club in Atlanta. So, and mind you, I'd never even been in a club before, ever. Not a topless bar, nothing. And I'm like, well, I know that I can dance and I know that I look good. So screw it. I'm going to go see if I can get hired in a strip club in Atlanta. So I drive to Atlanta and I go to the strip club and I walk to the door and I'm like, I will need a job. And they're like, yes, basically hired me on the spot. So I started on the day shift the next day. I had to go buy like clothes. Like I went to this little dance store that was down the street. I bought the shoes, I bought the outfit, and I start on the day shift the next day. And the manager ordered a table dance from me. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't know when I was supposed to get on the table and dance, or like, so the girls are like, no, that's basically a lap dance. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot give him a lap dance and have to like look in his face afterwards. Like, I can't do it. You know, I'd never experienced that. You got to remember, yes, I had been in some drug crowds. Yes, I'd done some things, but I'm still from the church.
I was 15 when I gave birth. I planned my first kid because I wanted to get away from my mother. On my 18th birthday, I was offered a job in a strip club. End up getting fired as a bartender because I was drinking underage, 18. Next day I get a phone call. Hey, do you want to come back to work? And I'm like, well, I thought I was fired. They were like, yeah, from bartending. And I'm like, okay. So that's actually when I started to get into the dancing. I end up making friends with the manager who has like this huge crush on me, right? This like older Caucasian gentleman, not attractive at all. Like, not
have
to,
a chance.
yeah, no, not to be mean, but he really looked like the guy from the Goonies. The hey, you got, yeah, that's who he looked like. He was like super unattractive, like repulsive almost, but he was like the manager and he kind of like ran everything. So this guy ends up having like a crush on me. And, you know, of course, me being young and seeing like what he was doing for all these other girls, I kind of took a little bit of advantage of it. During this time that I'm dancing, like I mentioned, I met a few different guys, you know, that were coming in regulars that, you know, had all this money. And I started to date some of these guys, right? So I'd like let them take me out to dinner, hang out. During that time, I'm telling the manager at the club, because now I'm kind of like, just using him so I don't have to be at work on time. So I don't have to go up on stage more than like twice a night. I'm pretty much stringing this guy along and, you know, not really telling him that I'm dating my daughter's father because he just thinks, you know, all these customers are coming in or whatever. During that time that I was dating my daughter's father, end up getting pregnant by surprise within those 2 months. I actually didn't find out until after he got arrested.
Miami was the town, the city for scamming, all type of scams, from mortgage scams, from tax scams, before it even became big in Tampa. But these people down there, they're making checks. They're making traveler's checks. They're making, still to this day, probably identifications and everything else and so on, so on. So the guy introduced me to traveler's checks.
Well, who's the guy? Like this is some guy
It's
you
a
know
guy-
that you can see he's making money. And you say, what are you doing?
It's a guy from, so back then, you know, we got MySpace and we got Facebook. All it takes is somebody to be on their profile picture holding up money, and it attract attention of a money hungry female. So my friend ended up befriending this guy in Miami. So she started going to Miami, bringing back these traveler's checks. She said, hey, he taught me how to go in the store, give them the traveler's checks, buy something, and they give you cash back. I'm like, from a check, why would they give you cash back? Like, you got to show ID. She said, you got to show ID, but the signature on the check is your ID, because I guess when you purchase a check, regular, like not the illegal way, when you purchase them, you sign it right then. So that's your identification.
Okay.
These checks were made. So you, of course, you put whatever signature on there. So he'll give her these two, I think he had $100 checks and $250 checks. And off a $100 check, she brought him back, I think, half, 50 on each check. And then on a $250 check, he got 100. Like, as the bigger the check, like it was like a deal.
Right.
So I'm like, how much you making? And she was saying how much she was making, which was a couple thousand a week. I'm like, I won't in. Will I go to jail for it? She was like, well, he said, just don't let them get the check and go to the back and make a phone call. That means something is wrong. But it got the hologram on the check. It got everything on the check. I'm like, I'm not going into people's stores. I'm scared. So at that time, I end up paying people to go in the store to bust the checks for me.
Well, his final arrest in the movie, they show him getting arrested at a heliport, I believe, but that's not what happened. He got arrested at our house. So I had gone to get my son's blanket at my friend's house. And when I came back, FBI with the jackets and the, you know, the lights, get in the house. And that's how that whole arrest went down.
Never went to the prison. You didn't want to do the whole prison thing. You didn't want to go see him in prison. No.
I had no desire to see him in prison. No.
My ex-wife came she'll tell you she came every month, by the
Yeah.
way. That didn't happen. She did come every other month.
Were you married to her at the time?
No.
Oh, yeah.
She just liked seeing me in prison.
Yeah, no. Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't want to see him in prison. My kids did visit him. They went with my aunt and uncle, but no,
Oh, okay.
I never felt the desire to go to prison and see him.
She would say, she's like, I like you being in here. When I want to talk to you, I can come see you. You're always here. I know
were
where you are.
contained. Yeah. You were
don't-
happy to talk to her because you were bored.
She's like, if I want you to call me, I send you an email. She's like, you make a call. She's
Yeah.
like, it's nice. It's nice you being in here. And I
Yeah.
was just like,
No,
she
I
had
did-
a
I
good
didn't.
time.
She was a little sadistic on her part.
Yeah, she's like that in or out. So
Yeah. No, I did not visit